Okay, so today we're going to be showing how we're going to turn this Dewalt flashlight into a cordless glue gun. So your main compartments that you're going to need to buy is a flashlight. This is an LED flashlight made by Dewalt, and a 12-volt glue gun. I picked this up on hotsticks.com for about $14, and I got this on Amazon for about $35. Tools that you will need. You need a T10 torque screwdriver, regular screwdriver. You're going to need some clippers. You're going to need a drill because there's going to be times where you're going to have to drill out some holes. You need a Dremel tool to shave down the inside of the flashlight, a soldering gun. We've got these little things here to help do our soldering. They're called helpful hands. They're not necessary, but they're definitely helpful. Wire connectors for splicing off the wires onto the glue gun, connecting them to the wires here. We're using a quick connect, so you can, if the glue gun were to burn out on you 3 or 4 months down the road, instead of having to refabricate this, all you'd have to do is have another one of these with a connector, take a couple screws out, pop in your new glue gun, and you've got a new portable cordless glue gun. Alright, first thing we're going to do is take the screws out of this and take the guts out. So we'll pause it, take these screws out, and we'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the screws out of the flashlight now. There's 2 additional things you have to do besides taking the screws out. One, there's a little piece of yellow tape down here with numbers on it. Just take you an X-Acto knife and slice through that. And the second is this little metal ring that you use to hang. I just use a panel popper, and let's just pry it in there. Okay, once you get that apart, this flashlight will come completely apart.
You guys trying to smoke this out of here?
We're making a film, would you like to be on it? Because right now you are. Okay, there's 2 ways to take this light off. One is to completely disassemble this thing, but it's not really necessary. I did that the first time. What we're going to do is clip the wires here, and I'm going to replace this black and this red wire with a little thicker wires when we get ready to attach the glue gun. And I'm going to leave the red and black on there a little bit so I know which is which.
See.
You're going to use this switch to make sure you leave it on. There's one screw that you have to take off. It's for this chip. The chip will go back in, but it has to be moved. So we take this screw out. And this all comes apart. There's your interior guts of the base of your glue gun. Everything else will be taken apart. Pull these wires out once I get this epoxy out, and that's it for taking apart the flashlight for now. The next part is to take apart the glue gun. We've got the screws already out of this. It's pretty self-explanatory. You pull this apart. You can see the red and black wires, which is your positive and your negative. We're going to clip these off. Throw that away. And then pull this glue gun apart. There's a little plastic ring that goes around the front up here. Make sure you don't lose that. And then the back piece is spring loaded. And we're going to take that apart. Okay. Next thing to do is to get this glue gun trimmed down so it fits inside of this flashlight handle. We're going to do two things. One, we're going to trim this base piece off of the out of the glue gun. We're going to leave this stem in here because it's actually going to go through the glue gun to keep it steady. And we're going to trim all this area out. As you can remember, this is where the chip was. The chip will get removed and relocated down here. So I'm going to take some time to go ahead and do this off screen. We'll come back and show it to you.
There you go. Good.
Ready? Okay, we're getting ready to cut the end of this glue gun off. You have to be careful not to go too far up here because there is a little groove pattern on the inside. This is where the base of the trigger guard slides in and out. It's like a channel. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm basically going to cut it square across here to make this more straight instead of angular. So I'm going to use a Dremel, a little cut-off saw here on the Dremel, and I'll trim it apart. As you can tell, I'll put it back together slightly so I know that I'm cutting evenly across here and not cutting one side lower than the other. Okay, so I've got the Dremel. We've cut the glue gun, the base of it off, the little part, the trigger guard here that sticks out to help this slide down into the eventually into the flashlight a little bit better. As you can tell, I'll show you these two sides of the flashlight. One side has a lot of these little notches and stuff that holds everything in place. The other side does not. So you're not doing a lot of grinding out of this. You're just taking a lot of this stuff off of this side for now. And then later we're going to come in here and trim some of this top part of the trigger guard off. So this will be able to slide in there nice and flush. So I'm going to go ahead and go in and Dremel some of this stuff out because I know it needs to come out. Next thing I'm going to do is I've worked on this side. I haven't worked on this side yet. I'm going to come in here and trim this piece off. And I may have to trim more of this guard out to get the glue gun to sit in there. But just to start off with, I just always feel like less is more. Take this off first and see how much more you have to do, because the more of this handle that we can keep intact on both, the sturdier the glue gun tends to be. Okay, so I've got the second part trimmed out. As we put this back together, it's really kind of you just have to keep working with it a little bit at a time until you can get it to where it's going to fit, 100%. As you can see, this area right here and here has to be trimmed out on both sides, so this will slide in. Otherwise you're going to have a big gap here and it's not going to be sturdy. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, so I have finished out my carving with my Dremel tool. As you can see, you just got to keep carving this area out, putting it back together, carve it out, put it back together several times until you get it close. It's never going to be exactly perfect. I mean, if you see there, it still doesn't line up 100%. If I played around with it a little bit more, I might get close. I just don't want to get in where I'm getting into this channel that the trigger runs into. So now it's just a matter of soldering some wires together and putting this thing back together, and we're done. So we'll get into the soldering and we'll get that all set up. And my son Bryson's going to help me with that because he's a better solderer than I am, and he's going to show you how to hook this. Basically, you're going to hook this part to a quick release attachment here, like so, and then this part here we'll solder in a new black and red wire, and we'll have another connect, and this will These two will plug together. Actually, the other opposite way. They'll plug together like so. And that'll be about it. It'll just be a matter of placing this chip in and drilling a hole so you can activate the trigger. This is basically the on and off switch. So we'll get into the soldering here in a second, and we'll get back with you after I clean this mess up a little bit.